YouTube, what is up? Back at it again with the Marvel Legends Age of Apocalypse X-Men Sugar Man Build-A-Figure wave. Here we have Marvel's Morph and Sunfire. Two pretty dope characters, especially that Sunfire. Now, the one thing I do like about this Sunfire, just not even taking it out of the box, is he can double as a horseman for one of the four horsemen of Apocalypse, as well as if you wanted to do Age of Apocalypse, shelf, or pose him with Archangel and the Death's Head, or the Death Head, if you know what I'm talking about, because he had that interchangeable head. You can post them together and have that representation of Sunfire as Famine. So they're pretty much identical. So that's pretty cool. And then we have Morph. This is Kevin Sidney. In the AOA timeline, he was pretty much like annoying everybody in the comics. He was pretty much the comic relief of that series. And he just had a bad timing and a crazy sense of humor. But he often helped people by, morphing into somebody and impersonating somebody to help someone overcome something. So, for example, wow, I can't, Blink, there you go. Blink was having issues, and one of her go-to people in Age of Apocalypse, of all people, was Sabretooth. So he impersonated Sabretooth once to help her overcome something, as well as impersonated one of Rogue's kids to help her, build courage for a situation. And if you don't know, in Age of Apocalypse, Rogue has a child with Magneto, which is, cool, I guess. I mean, what do you say about that? But yeah, so here we have Changeling, or Morph, and we get a small little read up there. Yeah, it even tells you his name is Kevin Sidney. Transforms himself into any shape at will. So pretty dope. Side art's pretty cool. As you can see, he's got this crazy grin. But man, this wave is freaking awesome. And yeah, he might be a peg warmer as well, but that's neither here nor there. And then we have Sunfire. And the read up, let's see if we get that to focus. Scorching ionized plasma allows Sunfire to fly, project himself, and blast his enemies. So in Age of Apocalypse, he pretty much looked, wow, I actually got him right here. He pretty much looked like his normal self, which would, damn, is a little dusty. But let's go ahead and give him some camera time. So he pretty much looked like himself, like this, and he ends up getting into a fight with Holocaust, excuse me, and Holocaust ends up whipping on him. And I'll just start off by saying that in Age of Apocalypse, Japan was pretty much destroyed by Holocaust, and Shiro pretty much survived. And he was captured and experimented on, and they actually caused his whole body to set flame, and injuring him pretty much at the same time. So you had guys like Dark Beast, who would get lower level mutants, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, and try to push their mutant powers as far as they can go. And that way Apocalypse had more recruits, and he would you know, push them to the limit, build them up really strong, and then, you know, try to talk them into pretty much forcing them to join Apocalypse. So yeah, so pretty dope figure. Yeah, let's go ahead and crack these open. I feel like I'm talking because I could talk about the Age of Apocalypse like forever. So let's crack these open and go from there. All right. So here we have Morph out of package. Good looking figure. And he came with the right leg, if that's what you want to call it. It's really stumpy. Right leg to Sugar Man. And he does use the same buck as the Bullseye. Just drew a blank for some reason. Anyway, yeah, so same Bullseye buck. Same buck that we got with the Sunfire. Pretty much the same as these two. I don't recognize the cuffs on the hands and the forearm, and as well as the boot. As the boots, they're very different from anything that we've gotten. At least at the moment, I don't recognize them. I try to compare them to, let's say, Cannonball, maybe even Shatterstar, and that was a negative. The boots, I don't recognize them. I might be drawing a blank, but they're not the same ones that we got with the Tupac Cyclops. So everything else is pretty much a reuse, except for the head and the cape. I initially thought that would be one of Magneto's capes, and it's not. It's completely different. So not a bad figure. It's actually pretty cool. And get a better idea of what it looks like up close. And it kind of looks like it has shading, but the way the black and the blue is broken up, it's really gives it a shaded look, but it's not. And nothing on the back there. Butterfly joints, which is pretty dope. I actually really like that on figures. Pop the head right back on. So cool looking figure. Peg warmer again. And here we're gonna have a look at the cape. Really flexible, really pliable. Nothing special. And again, like I was saying in the last video with Wild Child, we're gonna see this on most of the X-Men figures. These collared look. And I guess, like I said in the last video, that's maybe a way of them showing their allegiance and alliance with Magneto, because he has that. And in Age of Apocalypse, a majority of the X-Men, and these are not your traditional X-Men, they actually have that. And here we have Blink, which looks a lot like the Age of Apocalypse Blink. And I think that there's one thing that this figure is missing, would be the collar that they all share. I'm just trying to take this cape I put on her, because that's kind of what she had on in the comics. So, but if you look at her neck, she has it on her neck. See if we can get that a little better. But it looked more like around the collar and not just like a neck tie or neck piece, or I don't know what the hell ladies call that thing. But yeah, it looked more like a collar, let's say more like Wild Child's. So yeah, we may not have realized it, but we do have an Age of Apocalypse Blink already. So I mean, I don't think they will give us another one. So, but she'll fit in just fine if you wanted to make a shelf with the Age of Apocalypse figures. That's neither here nor there. We took care of Morph. And here is Sunfire. And like I was saying before, hopefully he's not going to want to stand. Come on. Cooperate. Wow, this guy's joints are like really, really stiff, and I don't know, it kind of feels like I'm gonna crack him. But anyway, let's turn this off. Maybe that might be making a little too much noise. But yeah, you know, one thing you're gonna see in this series is there's not many accessories. This is a solid piece. It doesn't come off. And this figure, man, I gotta say it. I try to... Oh, that's kind of weird. Try to get him up to see if he can look as if he's in a flight pose. So this is pretty dope, man. I dig it. I actually like it a lot. There may be subtle differences between the way he looked like when he was one of the Four Horsemen. Off the top of my head, man, I can't even point that out to you. But man, he's really, really good figure. And I want to say, yeah, man, Hasbro can't do anything wrong right now. He came with, oh man, I don't want to be wrong, but 2 arms, a left and right. Whether they're upper or bottom, I'm not sure. My guess would be, I don't want to guess. I don't know. So, but as soon as I find out, I'll let you guys know. So we're gonna drag this on just a little bit more. One thing I forgot to show you guys was the comic book that came with Victor Creed, as they call him in Age of Apocalypse, Sabretooth. So this comic book came with the AOA Sabretooth that you seen me unbox. And let me show you a couple of pictures in here where you got Sunfire there. That's actually kind of cool, man. And there he is in flight. And he's sitting here having a conversation with Rogue, who tries to stop him from going on a suicide mission, I believe. And there it shows Sunfire, Shiro, battling it out with Apocalypse, and that's pretty much how we got this AOA Sunfire. There's a picture there of Morph on the bottom. Pretty dope. So yeah, man, if you guys haven't read these comics, I mean, man, the characters in here, I mean, at the time, I swear to you, people thought this was one of the worst comics ever. And there's Sabretooth. I mean, look how big he is. He got Wild Child draped over his shoulder. There's a look at Blink. Even though the hair is a little different, I still think the Blink that we got already would do just fine for an AOA Blink. More images. Let's see if anything else. Yeah, there's Sabretooth carrying Wild Child, and then, you know, he wakes him up. And here they go and pick a fight with Holocaust. And there's Holocaust. And you know what, man? That might be a figure that we might be getting pretty soon, too. We got one. And that thing, man, was just... was horrible. I don't have it. Actually, you know what? I did have them. Yeah, I had the whole set at one point. And with Tigra, there was the Daredevil, Punisher, and a couple other figures off the top of my head I can't recall at the moment. So yeah, he pretty much does battle here with Holocaust. And I want to say he gets his ass handed to him. But yeah, cool book. But that's gonna do it. Please like, subscribe, and as always, Morph isn't gonna stand. Oh yes, he is. Take care.